The Puebla-ALberta Community Service Exchange is an international intercultural exchange program between Augustana Campus of the University of Alberta and Universidad de las Americas in Puebla, Mexico.
PACSE has many parts. PACSE helps you learn
About place, about other ways to think, about communication, about culture, about how to integrate into community. Work placements in Mexico were 3 days a week, and they ranged from working in construction, working at the elementary school, working at the clinic, working with farmers, growing mushrooms, or anything else you could find yourself. The point of a work placement is to try to find a window into the community, ways to interact with the community members, and learn about the community wellness, and makes it a healthy community or not a healthy community. So what I wanted to know about was the housing and the housing market, if there was one, and that's why I ended up working construction. Although working construction had many interesting stories in itself, the 2 days when I had to go and find out my own work because it was too wet at the construction site were the best stories. The one day I went out with Don Prisciliano and he was making a fence. So we ended up going out in his truck, way out in the back country into this place where no houses were. And we took a couple machetes and needed to cut down some branches off trees for the fence poles. So we get out there and we're trudging through these deep, thick bushes looking for these straight trees. And all I knew is that I was a little worried about finding a snake or something worse underneath all these bushes that we're going through where you can't even see your feet. It's the first time I'd ever done anything like that in my life. The other time when there's no construction work, I went to the elementary school with Odessa, Mark Prescott, and Paco, and we ended up singing to the students Imagine by John Lennon to just about every classroom. And although it was very odd, it was a very fun experience. Some people also went out and found their own work. Odessa, although she worked at the school and played in all the phys ed classes, went and volunteered at the catechism and helped teach catechism. And in that way, she found a window into the social sphere of the community that no one else had, and probably one of the best ones out of all of the work placements. Last of all, although some people avoided the fields completely, many of us tried to weed out knowledge of the farmers and take to the campos. Working with farmers, we realized how important it is to these rural communities. There's a political side to it, a social side to it, how it affects the economy, and how farming in the last 20 years, how the changes in it has been a large factor to migration in Mexico. There's also a large spiritual side to farming in Santa Lucia, but the best part about farming is getting the lunchtime meal in the field.